This ain't no Morphe palette, honey.
I like to fight a little dirty, baby.
Hey y'all, today we have the new Tati Beauty eyeshadow palette. I picked this up last week because it looked really good. This is called Volume 1 and this is her first eyeshadow palette from her makeup line. I didn't even know she was having a makeup line, but here we are. The first thing I noticed when I picked up this palette was that it weighed a lot. Like, it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't feel very flimsy or anything like that. This part is definitely magnetic because some of my hairpins were sticking to it. There are 6 columns of eyeshadows and then there are 4 rows. Each row is a different type of shadow and then each column is a different color scheme. So I think this is pretty cool. I've never seen this before, like the way she did it. So basically the first row is called Memory, and then you have a matte, a sequin, a metallic, and a glitter, and the same goes for each shade. So you have, this one is called Ritual, this row is called Story, this row is called Soothe, this is called Aura, and this is called Poet. So today I use most of Story and a little bit of Ritual's matte on my eyes, and I absolutely love the eyeshadow palette. So I use every single shade in the Story selection and just this brown shade down here, the matte version of Ritual. Girl, like, I feel like the eyeshadows blended really well. The pigment was there. Like, I was impressed. Okay, it does retail for $48, which I do think it's worth it because these shadows so far, they blend really well, they look really good, super pigmented, not a single bit of patchiness. The glitters, everything was just on point so far. So I'm actually pretty impressed from the first time I used it. The mirror is huge, so it's really good. You have a nice giant mirror. I see myself using this palette a whole lot because it's easy, it's simple, but it's very effective. This is definitely a fall into winter type of palette because of the shades. You know, you have your blacks, you have your oranges, your like deep purpley colors. I think it's a nice fall winter palette. I'll do some swatches so you guys can see what they look like on my complexion, but I'm also going to show you guys this eyeshadow look, which I did today using the shadows. I just said that, but Alright, so I prime my eyes with the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer, and we're gonna get started with the palette. Alright, so for this palette, each row kind of has its own look going on, so you can just use one row to create a look, or you can mix them. Today I'm gonna use the Story section, which is this one right here, because it's like a nice fall vibe. So we're gonna use that one today, and I'm just gonna start out with Stay, which is the bottom shade right here. This thing has a huge mirror, which is really good. This mirror is actually amazing, you guys. Like, it's really huge. Alright, so the eyeshadow goes on really well. It has a lot of pigment. It's not patchy so far. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit to see what happens. Wow, it actually blends pretty good. Like, it blends really good. Okay. Wow, this is actually really nice, you guys. Like, I'm really impressed. I'm adding more just to see how it layers, and it's layering really well. Like, sometimes when you try to layer eyeshadows, they get patchy, but this one is not getting patchy. It's layering really well. She definitely did something here, y'all. Like, this looks really good. Let me just do the other eye real quick. By the way, I'm using the eyeshadow the way I use every other eyeshadow, and there's really not a lot of fallout. Some shadows will give you a lot of fallout, but this one doesn't seem to have too much. Fallout is not bad though. I'm just letting you know in case you were wondering. I'm actually really impressed with this blend and the way this color looks. It's very pigmented. You can see, like, it looks straight out the pan on my eyelids. It looks amazing. Like I said, I'm going to just use the one row today because I do like a nice monochromatic look. And this one is pretty cool because each shade is slightly different. A different, you know, vibe. So next I'm going to go into the sequin with a flat brush. This is the Morphe M167. And I'm just gonna press that on because it does have glitter. I don't want to blend it out too much. This is really beautiful. Wow, I think this would look really good on like mature skin if you wanted to have that nice, you know, glitter look, but you were older. You get the effect of having glitter, but it's not super shiny. I'm gonna blend this a little bit in here so they blend together. I'm gonna take some of the metallic shade. I'm gonna concentrate that one more on the inner to middle part of my eye. I'm actually gonna use the same brush that I used for the sequin shade. The metallic is beautiful. It's like a nice coppery shade. Oh, this is nice. But this one I'm gonna need to use some type of liquid with because I can just tell it's gonna work better. So I'm just gonna spray it. And I'm gonna put it on. Yeah, that looks really good. That's a beautiful color. Gorgeous. Wow, this is such a beautiful color, y'all. Like, this color looks amazing. So the last shade I'm going to use is the Story Glitter. I'm going to use it with the same brush. And I'm going to definitely spray this because it's a glitter shade and I don't want to have too much fallout. I'm going to just add a little bit of that to my eyelid. I'm going to put it more in the center, so like, you know, right above my eyeball when I open it up. This looks really good. So I'm going to take a makeup remover wipe and just clean off under here. So today I'm using the Naked foundation from Urban Decay, Stay Naked. It's definitely one of my favorites and you guys should definitely pick it up during the Sephora sale, you know, whatever, because it's on sale. Get some money off, you know, save that coin. It's really good though. Like, it's a nice consistency and it's perfect for fall because it's not really heavy. Nice and perfect for this temperature because it's like not super matte, but it's also not like, it's not really dewy. So if you have oily skin, you're gonna like it. It's not really dewy, but it's definitely not super drying for the fall weather and like the winter weather. And if you have normal skin, you probably will like it too. I don't really know about dry skin, but I think oily and normal skin would like it. This is in Caramel from Too Faced, Born This Way. I'm just gonna do my under eye concealer as usual. I'm using this lighter shade because I've kind of been enjoying a very highlighted under eye look. And you guys have too. Like, you guys have been telling me like my base looks so good, and it, you know, the only thing I changed was using a brighter concealer. So I was like, all right, I like it, they like it, we good. This is the look. So I'm gonna just put this here and here. I use a little bit because I do not want to change my complexion, you know, accidentally, because using a lighter shade can definitely add a lot of lightness to your face. So you want to be careful not to change your complexion and make yourself lighter than you want to be. If that's what you're going for, then go ahead, sis. Like, I don't even care. But if you're not going for that look, just be careful with how much you use. I'm gonna blend out my under eye area. I'm gonna just use the bottom part, the butt of the sponge, to blend the foundation into the concealer. I'm gonna use this Huda Beauty powder to set under my eye. This is the Canufa shade. I either use the Fenty powder or this powder for my under eye. I just love these two powders. They're so good for highlighting. I use the shade Cashew in Fenty. But yeah, these are my two addictions when it comes to like under eye powder. I'm gonna put some on my forehead also just to highlight that area. So next I'm gonna do a little bit of like a contour bronze situation. So I'm going to use the Benefit Hoola Bronzer in Toasted, one of my favorites. I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics brush. This is from their Carnival, I think, collection. And I'm just going to contour, like bronze up a little bit. I'm also going to get under here and make sure, you know, get that double chin situated out, you know. And then I'm going to carve out my under jaw area with this. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent in Medium Deep, one of my favorite powders ever. I'm gonna just carve this out right under here just to make sure it's nice and sharp. For my lower lash line, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. It's my favorite brush for the lower lash line because you could use this side to buff and this side to just get more precise. I'm going to start out with this Morphe E18 brush actually. So I'm going to start with the shade Story, which is the same one I used earlier, but I think I'm going to use a different shade also just to make it a little bit more smoky and sultry. So we're going to just dust off some excess, and then we're going to blend this under here. I love how pigmented these shades are, you guys. Like, the pigment is unreal. The way they blend is unreal. I do think this palette is worth your money. This ain't no Morphe palette, honey. I'm going to take the color Story once again, but this time I'm going to smoke it out a little bit more with this brush because it's a little bit more like fluffy. And then I'm going to take the color Ritual, which is this shade right here. This is a dark brown. I'm going to use the other side of the brush to just make this a little smokier. I'm going to take a black eyeliner. This one is from Sigma and it's called Eclipse. And I'm going to just line my waterline. So I'm going to take some mascara from Essence. I'm going to just do my bottom lashes really quickly. I'm going to dust off this powder first with this little powder brush from Sigma. Then I'm going to take this Sephora powder and just put that everywhere to blend everything together. And I like using powders to just blend. Oh wow, me looking through the mirror that doesn't exist. To contour my nose, I'm going to use Cocoa Naughty from Fenty, which is my favorite powder to use for this. I'm just going to get it all up in here. For blush, I'm going to do something a little bit like orangish because this look is pretty orange. I'm going to use the Catrice Animan palette and use the shade Luxor, which is this one down here. This is a beautiful blush shade. Yeah, I think this will look really nice together. Blush tends to fall off your face, so you can use, you know, a decent amount because it will definitely fall off in like 10 seconds. So I'm going to go with something that I know I love, which is the Ofra. I'm going to use MAC's Cork Lip Liner for my lips. For my lips, I'm going to take Quickie from ColourPop, which is like a nudish shade. Then I'm going to use this NYX gloss in Fortune Cookie to top it. Alright, so I'm going to throw on some lashes because I feel a little naked, and I'll be right back. Alright y'all, so this is the entire look with the eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!